Okay, so I got a good one for you guys as we're talking about man's bullshit. So this woman is a total male supremacist. So this is the flip side, but she's the indoctrinated. She probably got I could go on this long list of what happened to her probably. So she probably had an abusive household. Um I don't know who abused her, maybe because she seems like she's trying to be like her father. Yeah, something weird there because she doesn't have a lot of feminine qualities. So as I'm reading off her, right? So then she becomes a cop. Okay, so she's desiring power and control. So it could be that there is major abuse there. She could have been sexually abused and then blamed for it, right? So then she also can be a child predator. So I want to explain this as you're going to hear this. It's pretty crazy. But I've had a cop like this too. It was really weird. Like they blamed me for the stalker. Okay, so anytime I hear a male cop do this, where they flip it on the kid, we already know they're automatically a rapist, right? So they're like a child predator because they're blaming the kid. So basically, when a child predator gets with the kid, they consider it consensual. It's a really crazy thing. So they put all the blame on the child, and that's some weird way that they shelf that shit. So you're gonna hear this same shelving. So if you know that shelf, like they talk like that, and they'll blame the kid for them doing stuff. So just keep that in mind. So then you'll hear this thing, and normally I hear men do it, right? I have, and I think a lot of people have had women like do the blaming thing. So, but that's actually a major, major, major flag for a couple things. They may prey on children, and or for sure they're an abuser. For sure there's an abuser. We just don't know what type of abuser, because this is a type of person that can be with a kid and they're like, I don't care what age they are. The kid still did this with me. So I look at it, it's this type of rationale. Okay, it's pretty bad. So this story basically came off a New York Post because they always have the crazy stories. But I went to TikTok to go watch the video because they put it up. Apparently, some guy manipulated his daughter, who's like 11, to like send child porn, right? And so, what do you guys think about this? Like, automatically, like the kid's a victim, right? And you would arrest the guy, right? I mean, it would be this thing, right? It's like you would almost like not think twice about it. But here we got Miss Karen. It's pretty crazy. So
The whole point, I just want you guys to
so they're out here in the front of his house talking.
Sleep.
Well, it still happened though, right?
Yeah. I just the whole point, I just want you guys to come over and talk to her. I mean, I just want her to realize what this was. I mean, in reality, it's not much you guys probably can do about it, is there?
I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Who, she can? Mm-hmm. She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
Doesn't matter. She's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being manipulated by a grown-ass adult on the
internet.
Is
she taking pictures now?
You guys have a nice evening.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. In reality, it's not much you guys probably can do about it, is there?
I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Who, she can? Mm-hmm. She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
Doesn't matter. She's still making. I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Who, she can? Mm-hmm. She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
Doesn't matter. She's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being manipulated by a grown-ass adult on the
internet.
Is
she taking pictures now?
You guys have a nice evening.
I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Who, she can? Mm-hmm. She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
Doesn't matter. She's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being manipulated by...
Okay, so I want my viewers to think about this. Like, you have to really think about this. It's not just like, oh, she misunderstood, like, conduct or whatever, like the teachings of arresting people for making child porn, like anything like this. So, rationally, guys, everybody knows that if a little kid is doing that and some adult man is telling her to do that, you would not arrest the kid, okay? So imagine her with a kid. This is very bad. Okay, so what type of parent do you think she would be? I'm just saying. So let's say her kid gets raped at 11, okay? Do you think she's going to handle that properly? What do you think that she's going to do? She's going to go, it's your fault. Doesn't matter how old you are. You're 11. Doesn't matter. You did that. Blah, 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 right? That's one portion. So she's going to victim blame, victim blame, victim blame. And I said one thing that people with that PD do, they flip everything onto their victim, right? And that's what she just did right here. And so I'm like, oh, wow. That one. So we have a female here. So I was like, this is perfect. So she did that. So this is going to be really bad in her real life. Okay. So it's going to give you some flags what to look for. So if she has kids, most likely she abuses them. And this is how to get good profiles on these people. Just from that, you guys. That's why I say, I go, you could just say a line and you're going to get a lot of character information about these people. So she's going to abuse her kids. She's going to blame them. Also, there's a possibility in it that she rapes kids. Because in the male portion, it would automatically mean that, and they would just do it, and that's how they shelf it. They're like, that little kid wanted it, because they're rapists. So it's interesting hearing a female do this. So, at a minimum that she would cover up a sex crime. Um, but then it's telling you that somebody probably touched, actually, the Pamela Anderson thing, right? So how she was talking, you could learn from that. So she was a victim, right? And then she started putting blame onto other victims. This is a horrible thing that happens with child sexual abuse. If it's not like they don't get taken out of the situation or something, and something went hella wiry over there. And her mom, it sounded like her mom fed into it, like, you need to pretend, that thing. But this is almost even worse. Maybe it's the same or worse. I'm not sure. I don't know if her mom talked to her like that, because I'm saying those cases are helping this stuff right here. So, yeah, this lady would be ready to arrest that little kid. So, yeah, no, it could actually indicate. Now, I don't know if her mom did anything else, you know what I mean? Like, but here it's pretty apparent that she would definitely cover child sexual abuse up, blame the girl, want to arrest the female. It's so male supremacist, it's not funny. She's like trying to be a man. Like, there's, the definition of man is being a sociopath, that thing. So she's trying to be that, not the good portion of a man. She's trying to be the socio portion of the man that is a rapist. And that. So this is not a good, that's not a good thing to hear. And I'm about 1,000% sure that most people that heard this didn't even think about that. They probably know, oh, she's terrible and I'm going to go report this, but they're not really thinking any deeper and further into that. Like, it gives you a lot of insight on these people. And so if you were like curious or wondered if maybe she abuses her kid, or this may be a type of person that would have a sexual relationship with a student. You know what I mean? It's that thing. So it could be a number of things, but I don't know what she's done, right? But you could literally tell right away, abuser. That's it. I mean, from that. See, but you could see how her rationale is towards little girls. And that's not good. But it also is telling you, oh, childhood abuse. Somebody did something maybe, and then she just blames herself. And so now she goes on blaming everybody else. And then they hire them in these departments. And on one video of another male, there was a guy that, yikes, he goes and he does a pity party about how abused he was as a child, right? And okay, being a cop is probably not a good idea if that happened to you, and mostly if you did not get therapy, okay? Because as we're seeing, like I'm showing you guys the young abuses, because we see Russell Brand, right? And all these other people. So you want to give them a gun and a badge, so then if they're sexually abused as a kid, they're going to go out and rape people, right? What does he do? Goes and rapes people, right? So they took it as a pity party, because the male subs are, the white male supremacists are like, oh, you poor thing, you were abused, and this would be a great job, to give you, to be a good citizen, and it's like, the reality is you just hired a monster and he told you, I have a potential of being a monster. And you would want to know, did you get therapy? You know what I mean? You'd want to know certain things with that. It's not a oh, feel sorry for me thing, right? Do you guys feel sorry for Anthony Kiedis? You know what I mean? He's abused, right? So do you think they should have automatically hired him as a cop? He'd be raping everybody out here, and committing all kinds of crimes because he's a socio, right? So this woman actually could be too. She sounds like it. So yeah, they hired the guy like that. So her background sounds about the same of that. And so yeah, we don't focus a lot on the female ones, but this was a good female example. So I wanted to kind of pinpoint that. So like when you language, I told you I pay attention to the language. I've always paid attention to that, but it's probably like I don't know exactly what it is they're saying, but I know, oh, she's being evil right here, so I wouldn't trust her for the life of me. It's more like that. But no, you can you just to totally dissect the sentence there, what you're looking for in people's language. Are they flipping, what is it, are they flipping the crime onto the victim? You want to look at that as number one, like a person's mindset if they're flipping it onto the victim. That's a major danger warning flag. So I'm just hoping that everybody starts to catch these things early. Early. This is too late, man. That lady has a freaking cop job. She could be doing a number of things, man. She could be raping her colleagues. This is a type of person that there's like an array of things they could be doing. Like we've been seeing some of these stories, right, with some of these female cops, dude. They've been bad. They've been really bad. So yeah, this is one that would fit into that category totally. I don't think they would hire him without being like that, because most of them that I've ran across have a really foul perspective on life, and they haven't stopped any of the inside stuff, and the ones that have, like if they were like healthy minded, I don't even know how they got in here, because you have to kind of like change your point of view to a man's, and then they hire you in there, and then you have to become like one of them, and then yeah, and then it's like, of course you're gonna have a problem in there because it's a bunch of male subs. You're joining a group of men that created that entity in the 1800s, right? With no women involved, right? So that you have to conform to them. It's not they need to conform to you. And so if you were a normal, sane, sound person, I can't imagine you actually getting through any of that and being able to like, okay, you need to go target your gender, or you need to go target your skin color, does that, like that thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some worse than others. There may be some in there that's trying, I don't know, maybe they manipulated themselves into there to try to change something, but at the end of the day, they get kind of like pushed out. So yeah, I can't imagine how my mom went along. It was probably just because that was before they would sit there and consider them cops. They always just let them, they would hire them on, but then they're like, we don't really consider them real cops or anything like that, the women. So yeah, they didn't give them guns and things. I don't think, I don't know, I didn't get into the full deep conversation of how they treated her at work. But yeah, it's probably more something like that. They probably didn't give her a gun and she sat at a desk or something, at the desk job, right? When you get busted, when the guys get busted, they send them to the desk, and the guys get pissed because they want to go out on the street and rape everybody. But um, yeah, no, these beefcake Karens. I'm like, should we just call them that? I don't want to be too offensive, but I was like, she's not a normal woman. She's my mom was not like that. She wasn't the beefy Karen. Like, no, it was quite the opposite. So I'm like, yeah, where they have a little bit more masculine traits. So that's not good though, because it's the worst part of men, right? What else can I say about it? So anyway, they reported it, and then they're gonna go and investigate it, and everybody's having a field day in the comments about this one. Yeah, I don't think there's too. I don't know if there's any misogyny in here. Let me see. Okay, so it says This is what they said here. They're all like this was 2 days ago, I guess. Anyway, it says the Columbus Division of Police acknowledged a video being shared on social media involving two officers responding to a call for service. We investigate complaints of misconduct, blah, 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 blah. Opened an inquiry into this incident. The Division of Police regards all allegations of sexual misconduct with the utmost seriousness. Yeah, that sounded very serious. We're going to arrest the victim. We're gonna arrest this little 11-year-old stupid kid, that doesn't even know what the hell they're doing. Incidents involving minors are handled with the highest degree of concern. Karen wants to rape your kids, okay? She probably shouldn't be a cop. I'm telling you, there's a danger with her. I'm telling you right now. We go through serial killer stuff all the time. She's an abuser. Something's gonna happen there. Okay, so sexual assault unit detectives were immediately notified of the incident and have since initiated an investigation. The other thing is the dude was like standing off to the side, the Ken. He's just like, I didn't hear him talk the whole time other than they were outside conversing with each other when they came out, but she's like the one in charge, right? And he's just like going along. I don't know if he's like they're teaching him, or I don't know. Fuck it, I have no idea, but he doesn't say anything. He's like, it's cool. These little 11-year-old little slutty little kids, like he's not gonna have any say in this. Um, but when he sent him away, like she doesn't even care. She's like, whatever, this bullshit. Like she should not have a badge. Like she doesn't want to do her job. She wants to blame an 11-year-old. She's a danger and she probably touches kids. Like something, you guys. There's something seriously off with that woman. And so I wonder how many times she's done stuff like this. Can you imagine going to her being raped? Even as an adult. Did you, like, you went over to his house, right? It doesn't matter. You went over to his house. You know what I mean? You could already see what's happening there. I always get them, though. These women like that. Yeah. But they're flags because it's telling you in their private life there's something really bad going down. No, I said the cop is the pedo. Let's get it right. Like, so it says all of these bad apples are really starting to add up. Some police officers today are not the caliber of yesteryear. Actually, I think I think it's just never really changed. Um, they can be indifferent and insulting, and just as this video recorded, in today's world, you're better off learning to protect yourself. I mean, I agree. I've had to, but we've been forced to. So I so hope that the female cop gets fired. I do too, actually, because it's actually a danger. I didn't read anything about the male cop, but neither of them seemed to be bright, and they certainly didn't know how to handle the situation. Yeah, I don't know if he's like I don't know what they're called. Like they'll send like a newbie out and then they follow him like to learn the ropes. Like it's not cadet. What is it? I don't even know because I'm not a cop. I was like, but I know that they do that. Like it'll be like some new guy. That's what happened in the gang thing. So they kept giving him new people, and that gang member sheriff guy like had these new guys all the time. Like there was a couple that were there like regularly, and then they got new guys, and they started bringing these new guys with them. Yeah, it's something like that maybe where he has to be under her and he's learning, or you know what I mean, like something like that. Because I'm like, that's kind of weird. He just stood back and didn't say anything. He didn't walk up with her, or I don't know. It was. I have to stand with cops. That young hussy was tempting that poor man who suffered. No, man, suffers with MAP. That's a minor attracted person. You're stupid as hell, dude. The dad must not realize that the degenerate's way the country is headed is planned. They needed to immediately enter his home and arrest that woman. I really hope you're being fucking sarcastic, but it wouldn't surprise me if you're a total pedo. Usually, large departments like Columbus have abuse experts, usually detectives that handle cases like this. I know, actually, it's kind of weird, huh? Like, it's a child porn thing. Like, that would go to I don't know, something other. These detectives have the training and expertise to interview children. The regular patrol cops usually call for the detectives and handle the case to these experts. Yeah, but there's child porn, so the child porn thing is like. At some point, our society will have to decide whether or not psychological damages inflicted by social media companies on young people is worth it. Because it has 3 times as many children raised by a single parent. Oh, shut up. Track the IP of the groomer and alert FBI and the Secret Service. Street cops are not well informed. And they don't do much, believe it or not. My guess is that there's significant overlap between people here excusing the cops, poo-pooing actual grooming, and people commenting on other articles who are apologetic that children might become aware of the existence of gay people or see a man wearing a dress. Cops are leaving law enforcement in droves, causing understaffing. Shut up. All in all, the officers have a point. Never ever talk to the police without your lawyer present. Well, nothing happened there, but that's fucking. It says, on the other spectrum, my 16-year-old son is addicted to pot. I called the cops to search his room, remove it, and charge him. The female officer told me if they find pot in the house and can't prove it's his, I might be charged with possession, and I'm not kidding. Told the police where they could stick that nonsense and not in a polite manner. Can't your can't you parents and child without the police? Yeah, for real, huh? But they want to arrest him for pot? It's legal out here. This parent is a piece of shit, though. They're like, I want to charge my 16-year-old son who has pot. And you can't really get addicted to pot. He just does pot, but you know what I mean? Like, it's. Dude, this is an evil parent. So, okay, there's some truth to that, I guess. Okay, so, like, how is this told to me? Like, if something's in the common areas of the common area, so I had to be told this, like, common area bullshit. So, like, let's say you're in a house and there's, like, 3 bedroom house or whatever, and you live in the back, and then somebody in a back room's doing drugs and they bust in and it's nowhere else in the house, right? And it's just in this one dude's place, then you're probably going to be fine. But if they come in and then it's all laying out in the open, like it says, oh, you had knowledge of this, so you're involved too, like this thing about it. So they're kind of trying to say, like, because he's a minor and like the parent could have actually just threw pot in the bedroom, right? Just to set up their son to get arrested. They totally could do that. And so I believe they would be correct in saying that because this parent is an idiot. And this parent could be very evil right here. Because I don't know why you'd want to arrest your son for pot. That's pretty fucking evil. Yeah, so this says always speak politely to officers for 2 reasons. Reason 1, not to aggravate yourself, and reason 2, same as reason 1. What the fuck? Okay, so yeah, then there was this idiot. And they go, the other serious question is why does an 11-year-old have a phone late at night or when she is at home? No 11-year-old needs a phone. Oh, yeah. So when I get kidnapped, at 11, I have like no way to call 911 or my parents. That's awesome, dude. You're an asshole. I don't know what is up with these people and their anti-phone thing. Is the most evil thing that happened to me as a kid by not having it. And it was like my brother and my dad had a car phone. Even though it sounds really like fucking pretentious. Like, privilege. Ow. Privilege then. It was really dangerous back in the day to even find a phone. And when you're driving across the state, my car broke down and I had no phone. There was no phone for like 30 miles. Like it was fucking crazy and I had to hitchhike. And there were serial killers everywhere. So I was so freaked out. I was walking for like a long time and I had my dog with me. And I was like, oh my God. And it was starting to get dark. It was slowly. It wasn't totally dark yet. But I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to hitchhike and let's pray. And I got a truck driver, thank God. And luckily he's not a serial killer. And then everything was fine, thankfully. But yeah, no. And it would have been much better if I had the car phone, because then me little kid would not go missing and killed by a serial killer, right? So yeah. Okay, so then I get confused. One minute they tell me biological males can be in a bathroom and locker room with girls, and the next minute we're told little girls can get in trouble for porn. Huh? So in person it's okay to oogle, but online pics are big trouble. It's ridiculous. The child is a victim, and this country's a mess. Um, Transgenders are not oogling. What are you going on about? It sounds like the cops were two Biden operatives sent there to get copies of the pictures. Trust, I would almost not that there's any politics here, but I would sit there and say that she's probably a Republican. She's a little too she's a little too beefy for us. That thing. Praise to the cops for showing up at all. Yeah, try to get a cop out for a stolen car or a hit and run on a freeway is typical Dem City. Better yet, don't try it. Save your time. Yeah, I've actually had that several times where they wouldn't show up. I had a guy trying to break in our house, and he's probably trying to rape us. And that was one. And then another when they broke into my car, they didn't want to show up. Then the stuff out here, they really didn't want to show up. Stalker stuff. No, nothing. They get paid for nothing, dude. How do you get a six figure income doing nothing? Be a cop. Okay, so the law has no mercy or compassion. An officer of the law should. Nobody's on the cop side in here, which is good. And it's not really heavy with misogyny either. Strangely, on this one, I was waiting for like these don't, It is the parents' job to teach their minor, I'm sure you mean minor, their own children, and whatever, I don't even know. Their social media should be watched carefully. I think that cop was at least cop should have taken information down, turn it over to Vice Squad on the next day. On the other hand, if you're wanting to protect the pervert, well, just drop a few veiled threats and beat feet back to the donut shop. Yes, so that's you picked it up though. On the other hand, if you're wanting to protect the predator, just do what they did, right? So doesn't that tell you about her? That's the flag. That's why I'm saying it goes, she's telling you something deeper about her, and that's like bing 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 bing, ding 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 ding, that whole thing. It makes you wonder at the female cop who is taking the side of a pedophile. That was no doubt where her loyalty lay. You got it. Oh my god. Somebody caught it. That is pretty damn awesome that somebody in this fucking comment section got it. I don't know if they got it trying to make it maybe being snarky, like maybe they don't really think that, but technically, yes, that's the flag that you should be picking up. Indeed, yes, because we pick it up from the males. It's just that I not too often do they catch the female ones on the videos or things like that. I've mentioned the females, but it's just like whoa, 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 to actually catch it in action. Mm-hmm. They never look at them. They never. Okay, so all the male cops that did that, and all of them did it in like the 80s and 90s and 2000s. They never looked in their background, and they were all rapists. So when they were flipping it onto the kid, because that's what they do when they rape kids, right? So when you're hearing the language and they're doing that, you see what it is. It's like, who are they protecting, right? They're protecting the perpetrator. So therefore, they would be protecting themselves. So why does she want to protect herself? More incompetent cops that should be flipping burgers. She probably should be in a prison cell somewhere, but the female cop doesn't know what she's talking about. This may be the first time she got a call. I don't think so. I think she's in charge. Because she's talking over the guy. I don't know, but, and even, okay, so let's say this is your first day on the job, Steve. Do you think that you would respond like that? I mean, just common sense. I keep giving people more credit for having common sense, but I'm just saying. So, would you go, God, I'm going to arrest your kid because some guy manipulated my 11-year-old? You know what I mean? Like, you just automatically would go, oh, God, arrest the pedophile, right? You just, I mean, because if your brain is working and operating normally and not as a pedophile, but most men would actually want to arrest the 11-year-old. Believe it or not, the men do. And like if you go in the past in the historical thing here of what's been going on, but yeah, but as a normal person, you know that you wouldn't blame the kid. That's what I'm saying. It's a major flag. It's scary. It's a scary thing right there. Women only want to be cops to look cute in a uniform. No, she's very masculine. Not cute. She's not obviously a liberal progressive cop acting like a child, like child molest is okay. No, I would almost guarantee she's probably a Republican. She's actually the type that would like come after me. That's what I could tell right now. And I'm like, no. But she could be any political stance, but more than likely she might actually be Republican because she has that I want to control women thing going on. Um So, yeah, that's not good. Okay, so you think this is bad? At high school, a band director in Alabama got tased by police for conducting his band in a football. Got tased for refusing police orders for 18 minutes. Woke female cop wasted time. That's not a woke female cop. That's a typical man cop. You guys seem to like ignore all the cases when women go into them and then they go into court and they go, "You wanted it. We don't care that you're 12. You wanted it. You made that guy do it." Yeah, that's the where it's stemming from. It's male supremacy. Oh my God. They were in a rush to get back to their coffee and donuts, probably molesting each other. That could be going on. That was weird. They just like, whatever. This It's like you just heard that some kid got I back the blue, but these cops are actually blaming the victim. Unbelievable. Don't they always though? Yes, check out my comments defending the cops in the other article recently in the post about out of control band. Oh God. Okay, I hope that female officer doesn't have daughters. Maybe she has a wife. She could still have daughters, though. She might have a wife. I don't know. But she might also be. There's a lot of things that could be going on there. With comps like that, who needs Democrats? Why do you assume it's a Dem? I have no idea. To me, they come off a little bit more on the conservative Republican side, but I don't know. Was a police officer correct that it was a violation of law, or was she uninformed? How could he be uninformed? She was certainly uninformed and quite possibly uninformed. I don't know what you guys are going on. Defund these two police immediately. Bad parenting. No. The female officer should be fired immediately. Demote her to parking enforcement. No sense. No, I wouldn't. She actually shouldn't be a cop. When you call the police, they don't always send their best. When do they? The 14-year-old. Okay, two 14-year-olds who traded nude pictures via text message can be charged with distributing child stuff in many jurisdictions. These cops were jerks, but they knew this was a parent who. Well, is that true? Because maybe we should change that. It would depend. Like I said, there's probably like some rare case that a kid might maybe should get in trouble in such a way, but I mean, I would almost think that if a kid was doing some bullshit like that, um there's probably some inner family dynamic issues that need to be tackled. They could have spoken with the girl and given some weight to the situation. I don't know what that law is right there, so I can't even comment. I don't know if that but I just for two 14-year-olds are major minors, so them doing some stupid crap that's something. I don't know. I really don't. But this is not between two minors. This is actually an adult male preying on a kid. Police are overpaid and do very little to protect the public. Exactly. Yeah, rely on yourself when in trouble. I love these idiots that say this stuff, and it's like, yeah, I have the whole time, actually. I've been on this planet for decades. I pretty much, yeah. It was me helping them out, technically, when you're talking about me with the kid stuff and everything else, and other cases of like a fucking street was gonna get caught on fire because of some bullshit. Yeah, it was me. Wasn't them. I was like, I've had to get out of all the perpetrator situations, like you would call, and then the cops didn't do shit, and I had to escape. It wasn't cops rescuing me out of it, right? So, pretty much we have. That's why I'm like, I don't really see much of a use for them. If police officers can't get it right, should we continue to fund them? Yeah, no. They've always blamed little girls for these sex crimes, so buy a gun. Practice at a gun range. What's a gun have to do with this case, though? You idiot.